I loves me some 1 degree of Chunky B.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B. Have you ever seen him looking so good?
The panel then includes actress Lady Kazan, comedian Chunky B, and Playboy TV host Julie Strain. Chunky?
What was the question?
Ladies and gentlemen, we good?
Checkity check. Very good, thank you.
I tell you what, we're going loose. We're going crazy. We're going fucking relaxed tonight because we've got something special for you. And I'm gonna cut right to the chase. You people that are telling your friends, you people that are watching, we are each and every day getting each and every week. For some reason, people are tuning in and enjoying it. And there goes the executive producer turning off our number one fan. Actually turning it up. But check this out. Look me in the eye because I want to look you in the eye. Whatever's happening, I'm thanking you. I'm thanking you. You're going to chunkyb.tv. You're going to 1 degree of Chunky B. And for some reason, somebody's out there spreading the love, and I can't thank you enough. I want you to go to the website. And I know there's buttons there. If you're shopping on Amazon, go through Chunky. Just go through Chunky. And if there's a donation button, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But look who's not here. The Wizard of the Knobs. And the reason he's not here is because we can't afford... No, I'm joking. He's on assignment. He's out on the road. He's doing some stuff with us. But before I go any further, you know him. You love him. He's right across the table of love, in the garage of love, the executive producer of 1 degree of Chunky B. Please give big love to Gary Adler.
Thanks, Chunk. Woo! Hang on, let me cut to myself here. It's going to be a little tricky for a little minute, but bam, there I am.
Hey, break it down to people.
Listen, usually the Wizard of the Knobs, and let's give it up for him, is there at the table pushing these buttons, the knobs.
Yes.
But I'm doing it today. So if you see me looking down, you folks at home, it's not because I don't love you. It's because I'm concentrating.
All right, well, first of all, before we get to the guest of, oh my God, I got goosebumps. You know how I get goosebumps? Four Eyed Films, you're rocking over at, Game Show Network. Mm-hmm. You are a blessed individual, extremely talented. And I don't want anybody to go away from 1 degree of Chunky B or chunkyb.tv, but you're cheating yourself if you don't go over to Four Eyed Films and check out the magic that Gary Adler does.
Thanks, Chunk.
I'm blessed to have him as executive producer, a great friend, and I got to tell you something. Mystery guests go over it. Check this out, people. You know, each and every podcast we talk about Venice Duck.
That's right.
Guess what got delivered to my porch today by John Henry himself?
The hemp ale.
We've never had the hemp ale.
Fucking A, man.
And you know something? I am not one to sit there and say everybody gets stoned, but look.
Listen, who knew you could make beer with weed? First of all.
It's a combination burrito of love.
Yeah,
and speaking of love, can we move on?
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
Once again, I need your undivided attention. I've known this cat for going on maybe 9 years. Met him at CBS Studios right there on Beverly and Fairfax. He's a cat that cannot be denied. He's a man that's slowly taken over the country. He's got a look that no other country fucking star has.
You sound like you're describing Hitler.
Let's go right to the chase. Give big love to my good friend, Ben Dukes, everybody.
Thank you, Chunky.
Ben Dukes.
Thank you for having me here, man.
You know what's cool is that the microphone's right in the right spot where you can't see the gap in the beard.
Oh, no, dude, you got it.
There it is, people. Check that out.
All right. Can I go cut right to the chase?
Get to it, bub.
I have I've been a fan of yours even before I knew you can sing and play the guitar.
Thank you.
And I worked together at CBS. Mm-hmm. We've had jobs dealing with audiences.
Yes.
And can I tell you right off the bat, the one thing that I started digging you the most is your confidence and patience.
Hey, can we back up a second?
Yeah, of
and
course.
tell everybody what Ben's all about. Like, well, who is this guy?
All right, okay. Ben Dukes right now is taking over the country in country music. This guy he's playing down in Texas. Would you know something? Just give us your road trip. You called me from a plane. Where were you coming?
I was just coming back from Myrtle Beach, but we did South by Southwest a couple of times. You know, we've done a tour coast to coast, been in 12 different states all the way across. Having a lot of fun playing Southern California. We're Southern California local now, so we play a whole lot of stuff around here. We actually have a festival coming up this weekend down near San Diego, so really pumped up about that too.
Can I ask a quick question?
Go, of course.
How was the how country is California?
How country is California?
Yeah.
About as country as Merle Haggard. I mean, when you look back in the history of country music, some of the greats, are from out here. Buck Owens and Merle Haggard, Dwight Yoakam.
And you're talking straight out of Bakersfield.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bakersfield sound was huge. And it's funny because, Merle, when he started doing his thing, and he was kind of going against what was going on in Nashville. And there's a group out here right now that we all, we're called California Country, # California Country on everything. And we're doing the exact same thing because we kind of hate what's being produced right now out of Nashville. God bless them. They're great guys, great players. The players are amazing. But a lot of times we think that some of the soul has disappeared from country music. So that's what we're trying to bring back into it.
And you being in Los Angeles, dude, that's not where you're planting your seed so much. but you're coming out of Georgia,
right?
You were a man that put on a helmet and shoulder pads, and you were going in that direction at one time. Break that down.
Well, once upon a time, a lifetime ago, I played football at the University of Georgia and had a lot of fun with it, loved it. And but the funny thing is, when you play ball at a place like that and you're a guy like I am, you start to realize that might not be where you were meant to be. Why? Because the boys that are playing in front of you are about twice your size and about 8 times your skill level. So, I mean, I played with guys that have Super Bowl rings now and have been all pros. Marcus Stroud and Richard Seymour and some of these other guys that are huge names in the NFL, and they played in front of me. But I came out here and kicked around in semi-pro for a minute. And then actually just went back to my roots where I wrote poetry and sang when I was a kid. Now,
were your family? Who was driving you to grab the guitar and write some songs and have that unique voice that you do have?
I'll be honest with you. Like I said, when I grew up, I was singing in the church and everything, and Mom kind of got me into that when I was younger. And she had me learning poems and poetry when I was a kid, writing poetry when I was a kid. And my dad died in a few years back, and when he did, the only thing I could do with that, like that's where I channeled all of my emotion, was into a song I wrote called "I Can't Pray." And
oh my God, and I didn't mean to cut you off, dude.
No, it's all right.
Because I know the song.
Yeah.
You doing something, Adler? Look at me,
dude. I hear you. Man.
Okay, listen. I'm past goosebumps. Here it goes, right here.
I know, man.
We're like 4 minutes into the
you're
interview
an emotional
with Dukes,
guy.
and Dukes busts out the song about his dad. And if you don't know that song, and you got to find it, I don't know what.
Say, speaking of which, let's have Ben tell the folks at home where they can find him.
Absolutely. You can find me. My website is bendukes.com. You can also find me on Spotify and iTunes. All you got to do is search Ben Dukes, and you'll find it right there.
And some cool videos on YouTube, which I watched this afternoon.
Yeah. You know something? Every time I get emotional, my executive producer always changes the subject. Let's go back to what we were talking about.
Okay.
Your dad passed. You wrote that song.
Yeah. I wrote that song and I sang it. It was funny because my dad's last gift to me was some money to go on a retreat for my church. And during that retreat, it was all about prayer, right? So this one day, the guy's leading the things like, you need to go out. I want you guys to go out and pray for a solid hour. We're in Bear Mountain, right, up in Big Bear. Beautiful. It snowed. It's early November, right? It's cold. It's beautiful. And I'm walking around, crisp day, white snow everywhere. I see all these people praying, and I'm 7 days, past burying my dad, and I couldn't do it, and I couldn't ever get that sort of thing going. So I sat down on a tree stump, and I wrote a song. And that was what came out of me was I Can't Pray. And I sang it that night to Not a Dry Eye in the House. And we came back and I sang it in front of the church to Not a Dry Eye in the House. And then I kind of put it away for a bit. and ended up running into a buddy of mine when I was back home. He produces music, and I sang it for him, and he said, "Man, we got to cut that song. That's a good song." I said, "Okay." So we did, and ended up putting it on. At the time, there was this website called MySpace. I don't know if you remember that website, but we put it on that thing, and it got played like 20,000 times around the country and stuff, and people were emailing me and saying that meant a lot to them, that they had been through similar things, and now I'm getting a little emotional myself.
Bring it back.
But and then I recorded a video on like a little elf camera, right?
Sure.
That got played on GAC. And a buddy of mine said, "You might have a shot at this, man. You might want to make a run at it." So I've been doing music ever since, you know.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. And one thing about Dukes, and you're basically rolling with Dukes. I mean, I know, everyone knows.
Yeah. Everybody calls me Dukes. All my friends call me Dukes. And
You mind if I call you Benjamin?
No, please don't. Please don't. Nobody ever did. Even my dad didn't. Nobody. Mom may when she gets mad at me, but yeah, no. Everybody does. And if you're listening and you're watching Chunky B on this podcast, you're my new friend, so you can call me Dukes too.
Right on, Dukes. Right on. And Adler, I want to tell you something that I know about Dukes. He can write a song emotional about the story he just told. At the same time, flip the script and write a song about when he's a lawn boy. Don't think I don't know your songs, dude. Don't think. And you know something?
People like that song.
Okay, I want to let you know, and Adler will tell you this. There is absolutely no research I did for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I prefer it that way. I don't want you to dig anything up.
Yeah. Okay. You guys think I'm kidding? Here's my research. Here's what this is notes from somewhere else.
Yeah. Usually that's full of information.
Yeah. Here's my research about Dukes. That's how much I adore him. That's how much I know him. That's how much when we were working at CBS for so many years, and they gave you the freedom to run. It felt that way. I mean, you were rock solid in working for Craig Ferguson, but I don't think it ever stopped you. It didn't slow you down.
No.
It didn't question. Oh my gosh, am I going to lose my home base? Am I going to lose my home job? You've got wings, man,
right.
and you're fearless, and you can jump into a van, and you can grab you guys, and you can do. And we were texting and keeping in touch. When you went to South by Southwest, that's a humdinger.
That's a big
humdinger. Now, give me a story about your experience. Did you get numbers in the club, or were you in front of a lot of people?
Oh man, it's funny. This last time that we went, we played a couple of different gigs and a couple of different shows during the festival. And the first one was a little lighter than I would have wanted it to be, and that's just kind of the way it is sometimes with big festivals. You got to try to get the word out, and some people show, and some people are still too drunk from the night before the show, and whatever it is. Second show, probably one of my favorite. It's top 3 shows I've ever done.
Why?
I would say, man, the place was packed. And first of all, we're in a bar called Burnsides, and their logo basically looks exactly like my face. So I was pretty excited about that. I'm not kidding you. I have a photograph of me in front of the person for whom it's named, and it's almost dead on. It's great, but that place was jam packed, and we filled in, and it was probably the stage space we were in, if you can imagine, was about maybe 6 foot wide, and then a triangle down for about 8 feet. So it was tiny. Okay. My drummer was in a corner. The guitar player, bass player were crammed in. Second guitar player was to my left. I was smushed in. Our fiddler had to stand outside the bar. I'm not kidding you. It was one of those open air bars, and he had to stand outside the bar and fiddle. Funny. And we're playing, and the people are packed all the way up to my mic stand and all the way back to the back. It was one shotgun bars, right? Really long, not very wide, all the way back to the back. And we're standing there playing, and it's showcase set, right? So you're not playing a whole lot of music that anybody's ever heard. It's your music, and people who, God bless the people that have actually heard of me at that place, and there were a few. But I'm playing my heart out and just going at it. And there's a guy standing not 2 feet from me, singing right back at me, right? And I'm like, you don't know my songs. And this guy's singing every word back at me during the chorus. And I'm like, well, at least if he didn't know him, he does know him, and he's able to sing back, the choruses to me. And then some just drunk, awesome dude. He was 6'7" if he was a foot tall, comes rolling in the door, just yelling out, "South solid country gold, man. And I was like, I want you at every show I ever do. Follow me around the country.
Put him
house.
on the bus.
Exactly. It was great. I mean, it's just the energy that Austin, Texas had in that night. It meant the world to me. It was amazing. So.
On the road, when you're driving from one gig and you got 9 hours to get to another gig.
Right.
How many girls do you need on the bus at that point?
I wasn't going to the chick situation.
Dude, I'm sorry. You know where I go with that.
We're talking. Okay, he's a pervert. We're going to talk chicks in a second.
I have one, and I'm in love with her, so I'm good.
That's
good.
awesome.
Oh,
but let's talk.
God.
Let's go back before you got the one.
Yeah. You know something? Fuck the thing I was talking about. Let's talk chicks. You're right.
Right. Are you just scraping them off with a spork or what?
Is
What's
it tag
going
and
on?
release?
Huh?
Is it tag and release?
No, I'm telling you, I got one.
How long you been with this?
I've been with her for about 3 years now.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I want to let you know I've known you for like 7. And I tell you what. When we were over at CBS, right, and he was just running the whole fucking, this show down there, and he would be like, "Oh, Junkie, you wouldn't believe I was on this chick's apartment roof, and boom, boom, boom." The next
By the
day.
way, Ben, just so you know, women don't listen to our podcast. So
Yeah.
you have no worries at all.
And there's a good chance your chick's not going to hear this
She's
either.
not. She won't get past the open.
Yeah. So what? You dialed in at this strong with the chick?
Oh yeah.
Is she on the road with you, or you?
She went on tour with us, and she's a photographer, and she wanted to get some pictures and stuff, and I wanted her there. I love her, and I want her with me because she's supportive of everything that I do, and so she means.
What about the bandmates? Are they just going nuts?
They've been known to do a thing or two. A couple of the guys are locked up, but some of them aren't. And,
Anybody fucking up? I know it's your band.
Yeah.
But are you in charge? Are you like doing attendance? Are you making sure?
Attendance.
Yeah. Okay.
I take roll. I have it.
Yeah. Bass here.
Right. I ask for hands up at breakfast.
I mean, because I like what I'm seeing about you, and I like the fact that I'm gonna step back.
Okay.
You were in my kitchen.
I was.
God, how many years ago was that?
That's 2-3 years back. Yeah.
Yeah, with my friend
Buddy
Buddy
Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, and playing. He wrote. I got friends in low places, and Dukes is in the kitchen, and my buddy's playing it, and Dukes goes, no disrespect, grabs the guitar out of the motherfucker's hands, he's like, check out some of my shit,
Nice.
and my boy out of Nashville liked it,
Nice.
so when you're going through that, we need to reconnect on that. All right.
Yeah,
What's
absolutely.
next for Ben Dukes?
Yeah. What's up with you?
I don't know, man. Everybody's
What do
got
you
a
want?
crystal ball. Actually, what's cool is I just got back from meeting with a whole lot of colleges, and that's kind of the next focus that I want to try to take next year is start touring through colleges, and because I remember when I was in school, man, and I'd see a new act that I'd never seen before. I thought was really cool. Maybe I'd never heard of them, and they'd come out and just blow your socks off and sort of endear you to them. And that's really where you have a chance to spread music, as opposed to, like I said, when we're talking about radio, man, it's so hard to get into radio and onto radio if you don't sound anything like what's on the radio. And so that's kind of where we're going next, I think, is into those schools and playing for those kids.
I love the way you treat your fans. Social media.
Thank you.
You can tell that you're genuine. You can tell that you're grateful. And you let everyone know, hey, thanks for that killer night here. Bada boom, we're coming there. And I'm just going to totally change the conversation.
Okay.
You got a hat on, and we've got a gift.
Yeah, right? I mean,
Can you
Oh,
just,
wow.
I mean, if
Thanks
you want to
very
wear
much.
that backwards,
That's kind of what I have to do, right?
yeah.
I like how he just countryed it up. Did you
Yeah, I
see
know.
that?
Did you see him just roll the bill? Yeah.
Yeah,
gotta
no
do it,
flat
man.
bills
You gotta
around
get it.
here.
Whoa.
Oh, look at that.
It might be a little snug, yeah.
An
I know.
advertisement.
The more popular he gets, the bigger head he gets. Thank you. And I want to ask
Absolutely.
you,
Yep.
what did it feel like when you got the green light to play on national television on Ferguson?
Oh, man.
Break it down. Tell me how it started, when you got the news,
Okay.
and what it felt like playing when he introduced you.
Oh, man. Okay, so Craig Ferguson, first of all, thank you, Craig, for everything you ever did for me.
Yeah.
Love that man. He's awesome. The the what he was willing to do and kind of take a chance on a guy like me was really unproven. It touches me to my heart. I was working part time at the show, you know this.
Yep.
And I just doing my job, right? We were in charge of audience, and some dude was cutting up in the audience one day, and I threw him out. And Craig got a kick out of it, and he thought it was hilarious, and ended up bringing me on the show and kind of roasted me about it a little bit the next day, and kind of thought it was funny. And and he was roasting me about it and stuff, and then after that he started following me on Twitter, and I guess he picked up on the fact that I was a musician, and he was when he's reading my tweets there at Ben Dukes, and I'm working one day down there, just letting people in, getting them all in, getting their tickets, ready and stuff. And I get a phone call and answer it, and it was Michael Natus' office calling, and I said, "Hello," and then Ben said, "Yeah." I said, "What's going on? What can I do? How can I help you? And it's Craig wants to know, do you want to do the show?
Would you just drop a deuce in your panties?
I about fell over. I'm not kidding you. Like I leaned back against the rail that was behind me, and I kind of went, the band? It's like, yeah. And I said, absolutely, we want to do the show. And okay, yeah, we thought you Mary Hollis, we thought you might say that. And I said, okay, cool. And what do I need to do? And she said, well, we need to get a CD. And I said, okay. And I'll get you one, no problem, and hung up the phone. And then immediately tried to figure out how I was going to produce a CD.
Yeah. We need a fucking CD soon.
Exactly.
Isn't that funny?
Did he need it just to show it on air, or he wanted to listen to it?
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Because you got a legendary guy named Peter LaSalle. Mm-hmm. Okay, and even though Ferguson gives Dukes the green light, they still got to play the producer game.
Yeah.
Hey, Dukes, if you're an actor, let me see your reel. Mm-hmm. Even though we know you're an actor. He's a fucking musician, great singer. Everyone knows what he can do. But just to play that, and I'm putting words in your mouth, and correct me if I'm wrong, you just got to play the game and get that shit together.
For me, it's one of those things where if as a host, Craig, and as a producer, Peter and Michael both.
Yep.
If they're gonna put you on the show and they're gonna put their name on it, then they got to be willing. They got to know that you're gonna bring the goods.
Yep.
So, it was never even a thought for me. That it was like, oh, why do I need to do? It was 100% whatever I need to do, I'm doing it.
Yep.
Because I want to prove to these guys that I'm legitimate, and let's do it.
That's smart.
You know something? What was your first tune you played?
On the show?
Yeah.
Down in Flames.
Down in Flames.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. Loved it. Big response. Great viewership.
Mm-hmm.
Media.
Social response.
Media.
Mm-hmm.
He got asked back.
Nice.
Yeah. That was
more shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
you think about it, the fact that they would do that they would let me do that, and that show is a big family. They all love one another and stuff. So to let me do it, I was amazed, I was floored, I was honored, and it really gave my career a kick in the pants. Things started moving shortly after that.
You were only on national television 2 times.
Well, that was but I'm just talking about after the first time.
Okay.
And we did South by, and then we did a tour and all that, and I was back at the show and ran into Craig, and I said, I wanted to thank you for everything that you did, and I don't know if you knew this, but I'm going to South by as a result and all this, and he said, well, you know what you have to do. I said, what? He said, you got to come play the show again.
Nice.
And then you're just fucking like, you just fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was floored, and I said, oh my goodness, are you serious? He said, well, yeah, man, of course you have to. I said, well, thank you very much. And he said, I'll talk to Michael and everybody. And then sure enough, here comes another email. You ready to, let's schedule a date. And we did. And it was awesome.
And the second tune was?
The second one was Old Fixer Upper, which...
That's a good song.
No. The Old Fixer
I like that
Upper. But you gotta listen to his lyrics.
No, I listened today.
Did you?
Yeah.
So you do research.
He did more research than you did.
Dude, I'm the executive producer.
What, are you kidding me? I swear to God, I went like 8 months with your CD in my fucking car.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. You did text me once a video of you listening to it, and it was so many months later.
No, it was under his seat.
No.
Let me text Dukes just this video real quick. Happy birthday, buddy! I'm listening to your tracks.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I did a video of me in the car, and I was mouthing the words to.
That's good.
Yeah, I know that's gay. Hey, listen to me.
Slightly.
We're gonna take a short break.
Okay.
But we want to hear you live.
All right.
Yeah, can you play a little bit for
Okay,
us?
check it. This is what a star he is.
Okay.
I texted him today. First of all, super fucking thank you for we went on Twitter and we generated some energy. Right. And like, okay, I'm coming at you, Dukes. I'm coming at you.
Right.
And then Dukes is like tweeting like, what the fuck? The question mark. And then like Mary Kay and then, everyone, there's a whole group of people that I still love, like Karen,
Bart,
absolutely,
and Bart and Mary Kay, and they're hardcore, lovable fucking people.
Love
and
those
then all of a
guys.
sudden, I put the word out on Twitter that hey, I'm looking for Dukes, and Mary Kay. I swear to God, we should invite her. She would have been sitting right here. Yeah. She's a great woman.
I
and
love
a
Mary.
big Dukes fan. So I'll tell you what, we're gonna wrap this up.
Okay.
And Dukes, you've got my daughter's guitar. Just put it on camera for a second. Dukes is such a big star that I said, bring your guitar. And he's like, no, I don't have a roadie. My roadie's not with me.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll supply my daughter.
Oh my God.
15-year-old daughter. Right?
I don't have a roadie.
So no, you don't have a roadie with you.
Right.
Yeah. We're still getting the green M&Ms together for him.
I
He's
know.
got a rider.
Next time he's here, because he's he's gonna have a rider. He's gonna be like, I want left-handed chicken wings.
listen.
All right, check it out, guys. This is 1 Degree of Chunky B. You're ChunkyB.tv. Ben Dukes, if you decide to change the channel, I'll track you down and beat you with Ben's guitar. All right, Adler across the table of love.
Yeah.
You've got Ben Dukes right here.
me.
We're going to be right back in a second. Get online and tell everybody how cool this is. Chunky B in a second. You guys have got to check out our brand new sponsor, Venice Duck Brewery. You want to get your quack on? Taste some of this. Hey, you guys, music provided by Play Up Music. That's playupmusic.com.
Black is the night that holds you down. Black is the night that holds you down. Black is the night that holds you down. Black is the night that holds you down.
Hey y'all, this is Ben Dukes, and you're watching 1 Degree of Chunky B. Sneak it in again, and we'll
Let's do it.
You're on to us.
You know what I'm saying? Just do it.
All right.
All right. I was nothing but a little scrawny kid, doing exactly what every scrawny kid did, pushing the mower around and burning up in my corduroy. The nights were long, but the days were longer, and pushing that mower only made me stronger. It was the life and trials of a lawn boy.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a fun one, man.
What?
Hey, that's a chorus, man. What do you want me to do? It's a long song. It's got a big story to it. It's going to take a long time.
I know it does. All right, put the guitar down. Let
All
me
right.
talk to you.
All right.
See the talent this fucker's got?
I know, it's incredible. Now listen, when you started singing, it just came out country or what? You had to force your voice
From
that
Georgia.
way?
No, you know what's funny is a few years ago, before I even was writing and singing professionally, I was in church here with a bunch of my buddies, and we're up there singing, and whatever it is, whatever hymn is coming out, Hallelujah chorus, doesn't matter. People always turn around, and just look, turn around and look, turn around and look. And my friend Chris looks over at me and he goes, "Man, you cannot sing anything without it being country music." I was like, "No, I know, man. That's praise God from whom all blessings flow." And people are like, "Whoa, that's
country." That's so country.
That's country with a little touch of church in there.
That's what it is.
That was a taste of gospel.
Dude, that's what's in a lot of. If you listen to my music, you're gonna hear a touch of it here and there, and it's a lot of times it's this is what you're supposed to do, and this is how I screw it up. That's what the majority of my music is. Man.
Even though your foundation is out of the church, you're not afraid to write about anything.
No, you have to. I think some of the greatest music that's out there, and is written from a point of view of having made mistakes, and because that's what's going on in the world, right? Everybody, when they attach to something, it's not all squeaky clean out there, man. It's people make mistakes, right. And they want to feel it, and if all you're doing is talking tough or talking perfect and crisp and clean, either of those sides isn't true. It's everybody's got that balance right in the middle, and so a lot of that's where
stuff comes from. My next question to you, and I think we deserve the right to hear it in details. Tell us about the first time you made love to your girlfriend.
That's an excellent question, Chucky.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I know. He was like, "What?"
He was like, something.
Well, here's the thing. My girlfriend is a former judo champ, and
really?
So if I were to take any sort of misstep, I might come back with a knot on my head next time.
Isn't it a risk when you're making love to a girl that could snap your neck? If she's not happy,
it's a little pressure.
First of all, Chunky, you're assuming they've had premarital sex.
Oh, dude, seriously, I know. We do not need to even discuss that. But
how does a country boy from Georgia make it out to L.A.?
Good question.
Tell us about that journey.
In a Jeep. I always wanted to do something, right? So I grew up in a little town in Georgia called LaGrange. Love that town. Go Granger.
It must have been around.
Right?
That Georgia town.
First of all,
I'm singing LaGrange. Right?
I know. But did you feel, and we're going to stay on track,
okay.
Did you feel that you were bigger than the town?
No.
You didn't feel the need to bust out as soon as you could?
It wasn't that. I mean, I love that town. I absolutely do. My sister still lives there, and my niece Kennedy, if she happens to be listening, is
she's definitely
a senior at the high school right now.
Right on.
And so that's in our blood, that town, and I loved it. But I wanted something bigger, but not from a thing of I want to shake the dust of this town off me or anything. But for me, it was all about I went to the University of Georgia, huge school, and it was because I've always kind of been a social person and wanted to be around a lot of people, and I wanted to be around big time football, and I wanted to play big time football, and got a couple opportunities to do that there at school, which was great. And then after Georgia, for me, I wanted to be an entertainer. That was what when I started thinking about it, it was like, where do you go? And at the time, it was acting. So it was like New York or L.A. And I said, well, I don't really want to go and try to live in New York. It's really cold up there in the winter, and I'd rather go to L.A. And, they say you can be at the beach in the morning and the mountain in the evening, but you must do that by helicopter because I can't get you across town in 4 hours in the traffic out here.
No doubt, no doubt. But, when I first met you, did not know of your talent, and I'm talking about
it's not very obvious.
Well, something, but when that crack at the door opens, yes, you totally understand it. But you and I were so dialed into doing our jobs that when I found out what you did, there was a shaft of light, angels were dancing, birds were singing, and I understood the wisdom of the Dukes, which was a phenomenal thing.
I do not condone the use of drugs.
And we've never even talked about that. But I don't even know where I'm going with this because I'm getting too emotional and my Venice duck. But let me ask you this, Dukes. You're wearing a Voice T-shirt.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I've done some time there too, man. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Did you audition for The Voice? Is that what you're getting at, Chunk?
Well, I did, and actually, the funny thing is, I don't know if he's getting into this, but
Yes, I am.
I did audition for The Voice. I auditioned for The Voice season 2, and you know, I got all the way to the part where they cast you and they ask you what your story is and all this kind of stuff. You know, I tell them my story, and I mean, it apparently wasn't good enough. Which was
The story wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I mean,
The Voice
maybe.
was fine.
No, I mean the voice. I didn't say that. The Voice might not have been good enough too, but you know that's how far I got. And after that, I took serious stock in myself and the things that I do. And I said, am I taking myself seriously enough? Am I really chasing what I want to do seriously enough? And I ended up shortly after that breaking up with a girl I had been dating, moving out of my apartment, deciding to be homeless. And take every penny that I got and funnel it into recording and studio time and rehearsal time and promotion and everything else. And that was about 6 months before I got invited to do the Late Late Show. And for me, it was one of those affirmations of when you just go out there and take a risk and really chase the thing that you want to do, things happen. People notice. You know, and my dad taught me when I was growing up to always work hard, you know, keep your nose down, work your tail off, and opportunities will present themselves, and just be ready when they do. And I feel like that's what I did. I worked as hard as I could, an opportunity presented itself, and I delivered.
All right, you kids at home, did you hear that? You fucking work your ass off and keep your nose to the grindstone, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't.
I totally agree with him.
Turn this shit off and get back to what you're supposed to be doing.
No, because your dream could be to win Beer Fest. So drink more. Build up your tolerance.
That's awesome, man, by the way.
Thank you.
We admire people's commitment, and we have people in here all the time that tell different stories, and most of it, you know, it comes to that conclusion, which is, you know, you got to make your mind up. You're either in or you're out. And at what point in time did you realize, all right, this shit might work?
I don't know. I don't know if I've even figured that out yet. You know, I mean, it's always kind of every success follows about 35 failures. It feels like, you know, even when you get to the point where you're doing things like you play on TV, and that's amazing. And then you turn around, and I've had a year this year that's been just kind of tumultuous. You know, we've had cool things happen, and then we've had some things that have really set me back. You look down, and you sit down, and you look at things, and you have stuff like a big festival we were going to headline, and then festival got canned. Yeah. And it's like that was going to be for me a landmark moment. You know, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be out there and shut the crowd down and have a blast. And suddenly I get a phone call, and it's like, hey, it's not going to work out this year. We're going to have to move it and stuff. And so then you start to quit. You know, you have that doubt, that moment of
it's a road of heartbreaks.
It is. It's what it is. That's where the music comes from.
But you have to have tenacity. You have to have integrity, character. And the one thing I love about you is that you and I haven't even discussed is your ability to grab the word resilience. You know, because you're not going to. If a festival gets canceled, so what?
Yeah.
That's a speed bump.
Well, and when I was in college, we had a T-shirt, and it was Fido, and it was kind of our credo, and it stood for fuck it, drive on. And I have dropped the first two of those, but drive on is a big part of my being. And
I've actually accepted the first two as my soul.
You see what I'm dealing with?
My jingle.
Yeah, man.
Just fuck it. You know what I mean? There's really nothing after that.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fucking good, fucking bad.
Right?
Yeah.
Whatever in whatever form it may come.
Well, that's amazing, dude. I mean, we love people that have tenacity and steadfastness, and good for you. And are you making money playing music?
Yeah, let's talk about your cash, dude. You making any money?
I'm making a little bit of money. You could always be making more.
But you know, you got to be taking it on a chin for a while. And I'm not sure if that I don't know what you would call it, like the blood road. Get on the road, and you know you're pouring blood into everything. Gig.
I just looked at his tour dates. I mean, you've done a lot of dates in the last 4 or 5 months.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying, and I want more. I mean, that's the thing. That's like I said. I just got back from talking to a whole bunch of colleges, and that's exactly what I want. I want to fill 2015.
At the end of October, you're playing Burbank. Tell people where.
At Joe's Great American Bar and Grill. It's going to be the Haunted Honky Tonk. I go on, I think, at midnight, but I'll be the guest beer tender until then.
Ah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. He asked me if I'd be a bartender, and I was like, man, I don't want to be responsible for over pouring liquor, but I can open a beer. So you call me a beer tender.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
You know something? We need to spread the love of Ben Dukes.
Absolutely.
All right, and we need to do whatever our little tiny. Yeah, hey, listen to me. I need more followers. If you can help me, you know something. We're getting hits on our on this podcast.
Yeah.
And we've had friends that you know. We've had Bob Oshak.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we've had Josh Robert Thompson. Right, and we went off the radar with him.
Right.
So I love the fact that we are still, networking together.
Right.
Even though I haven't seen you in fucking 6 months, I saw you when we were dabbling around Last Comic Standing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You see these people right now? I have no idea how cool you are.
I think they got a good idea now.
You know something? My mission is to I'm going to look you people right in the eye. My mission is to let America know that Ben Dukes is probably cooler than you. That's what I'm saying. He's cooler than me. And look at him. He's like, I didn't say that.
What about Nashville? Any? What do you do? Do you go to Nashville ever?
I've been to Nashville. I actually recorded an album in Nashville, and those guys were great. Every time we go there, we record an album there. We went through there on tour, and I am just overcome by the ability of people to play music at levels that I will never be able to aspire to.
Crazy.
There are musicians in that town that stand on the side of the street with an open guitar and can play better guitar than anyone you've ever heard. It's amazing. And they're not working in the bar. Some of them are, but a lot of them are. I mean, it's just you can't sneeze without hitting an amazing musician in that town.
Why do people go there? Why don't you go somewhere else and get your,
That's what Ben did.
Well, why don't actors go?
I know that's what Ben's doing.
Yeah.
Why don't actors go somewhere else but L.A.? I mean, that's the thing. Most of them, it's wherever the center is, that's where people want to go, and that's where they congregate.
I understand that. But when you come here, when you go there premature, you get,
That's a danger.
That's a danger.
That is a danger. It's a town where you have to be ready for what it's going to give you. And if you're not, you have to be willing to put in the mileage to get yourself to where you want.
And that's what I think about you. You have done the mileage. You've done, due diligence. But I like your swagger. Man, you're not cocky. You're not overconfident. No. But when you walk into a room, when you walk onto stage with your guitar, people know this motherfucker deserves to be on the bandstand. And that's why I adore about you. And that's why I will still and continue speaking the good word of Ben Dukes. And I want to say thank you for being on this podcast. I want you to let all your fans blast it out social media.
Absolutely.
And let them know you can see the real Ben Dukes in the Garage of Love. Because I'll tell you what, we had acoustic guitar, we had bad sound.
Wait, hang on a second. What are you talking about? Bad sound?
He's talking about his own voice, is what it is. It's just coming at us.
Yeah. The Wizard of the Knobs was in here, but Gary, the executive producer, dude.
Where do you see a 15,000 cuts I just did in this one podcast?
Oh, did you go crazy on it?
Oh my God, it's awesome.
Really?
I don't know.
Listen to me. The Wizard of Knobs is not here. I would love to give you the floor. Is there any heartfelt or sophomoric question you have for the Dukes?
Yeah. What's Georgia looking like this year, buddy?
What's Georgia looking like this year?
Yeah, what were we doing?
Right now they're looking like 5-1, so I'm pretty excited about that.
All right.
I mean, I love Georgia, and right now we're reeling because of the loss of Todd Gurley, but he may be back soon. He was at practice today.
Nice.
So we don't know. And they just whooped up on Missouri something awful. So I was excited about that. They went in there and nobody thought we were gonna win. And won 34-0, and they couldn't touch it. Defense was smacking them around. Yeah. It was awesome.
And can I ask one more thing?
Of course.
I would say in the late '80s, early '90s, Athens, Georgia was where the good music was coming out of. Is there still a big music scene in there?
There's still a huge music scene in Athens. Actually, the Georgia Theater, which is just iconic venue there in Athens, burned down a few years back, and they rebuilt it, and now it is just a pristine, amazing place to go see music. So if any of you guys are listening or are in Athens and you've never been there, take your tail down there this weekend and see whoever's playing. It doesn't matter who it is.
When you go back, you got some fanfare going on? What's going on now?
You know, when we went back the last time we were in Georgia, we were down in a little town called Cordele at this great resort there at Lake Blackshear, and it was an open air venue, right? Pavilion with boats can pull up and all that kind of stuff, and we happened to be there on one of the coldest weeks that I think I've ever been in Georgia. It was just cold, man. And it was raining, and we get out there on the stage, and it's pouring down rain, but we're covered. And then there's lightning happening and everything. And the people that were at the resort, they came out. We kept playing. The management came out and said, "Can you guys play a couple extra?" I think we played 2 extra sets past the end of the time we're supposed to be done, and just kept the bar going, and people were loving it. And so that was exciting. Made some new fans there. I may be going back to play in my hometown next fall.
You get nervous playing in front of your friends and family? Were you going to ask that?
You know what's funny? This is awesome. About years ago, because this whole music career pursuit happened out here, right? And my mom, since I moved out here, has never been out here, and my sisters have never been out here.
So you're always going home to check
right?
in.
Because I see them, right? So a few years back, I remember my sisters and my mom came up, and I decided I'd go do an open mic somewhere, right? And crashed and burned, man.
Shut up.
I mean, like, so bad that I put the guitar down and just sang a cappella at an open mic. That's how bad it was. It was bad. It was bad. It's because I was so nervous. Like, it hadn't happened to me in well over a year that I had ever been nervous at a gig, right, at the time I did this. And I was like, why in the world am I so nervous? And I realized it was because they were sitting, they'd never seen me play. And so until I went to Cordele, they still had never seen me play live again. They'd seen me on TV and stuff, but they'd never seen me. And so at that gig, there was just a touch when I first started the first song.
Okay, a touch.
Yeah, of nervousness, just a little bit. And we killed it, and everybody was going crazy. And then immediately I told the story of how my mother had never seen me with a band and all this stuff. She's sitting right out there. And I made a joke with her, because I made a joke with everybody, because I was saying, my mom and dad raised me really well, and, she had done a lot for me when I was a kid. And the next song I was going to play was one that I heard growing up, sitting in the back of her Oldsmobile 88, listening to it, coming over that radio that we had in the front seat. Back in the day when you could sleep in the back window.
Sure.
That's what I used to do. I used to ride in that back
Nice.
window all the time, man.
Yeah.
And I was listening to that, and I said she did a wonderful job raising me. And I think as soon as I got out of the house, I did my best to screw it up. I said, but nobody can blame her. And then immediately we went into Mama Tried by Merle Haggard. And that's one of her all-time favorite songs, and it was a pleasure to be able to stand there and sing it for her, and we had a great time doing it. And
You see Mama Tried in front of your mom for the first time? Did she see you in your live?
yeah.
Is that the story?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I sang Daddy Was a Dentist.
There you go.
And I forgot the floss.
Daddy was a dentist down in Miami. Can you write that for me?
Yeah, I'll do what I can do.
Thanks. You can perform it at my little brother's
All
bar
rights
mitzvah.
reserved.
Super.
Hey, Dukes, we went around third, head for home. We're going to put a bow on this.
Yeah, what an awesome guest, man. Thanks, Chunky.
No.
Chunky, you've been a fabulous guest. Thank you for being here with us.
He's thanking me because,
He knows everybody.
yeah, one
That's
degree
why
of Chunky
that's
B.
why we call the podcast 1 Degree of Chunky B.
That's right.
Dukes,
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you something. I knew you before I knew that you can sing or even play the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I adored you since the day I met you.
Well, that's mutual. Because
Yeah.
I thought you were great from the first day we ever saw.
I appreciate that. I know for a fact that your drive and your push and the people that, when you're cruising down on that motorboat and your wave, your wake, and people catch that wave, you are just going to gather more people that get it.
Thank you,
because
man.
I get it. Adler gets it. And I know a whole crew of other people get it. And it's just going to get stronger and stronger around the country. And I am blessed that you are on 1 Degree of Chunky B. Thank you for making my night and Adler's night, and you're welcome any single night you want to be in the Garage of Love.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. It's been a lot of fun, and like I said, everything that you said comes right back to you, brother. Because ever since the first day that we saw you over there at CBS,
Did he do the Cinderella joke?
We're having a moment. We're having a motherfucking moment. Do you have to take it to the gutter? He knows every joke. I swear to God, he knows every bit of my.
You know what though? But this is one of the fun parts about after I disappeared from the show for a while because I was doing music and such, and I come back, and I remember I come back and I stand in the same spot right in the back of the audience that I've been a million times. Just stand back there, and Chucky's down there doing his thing, and all of a sudden I go, wait a minute, and then he gets done and Craig comes out and there's a break and I go over and I went, did you write a new joke?
Yeah. You mean, hang on, did you read a new joke?
Did I steal a new joke? People call me redundant. I say consistent.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right,
what? Consistency is one of the toughest things in the world to come by, so I appreciate it.
So's mediocrity.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you cut to a single of him right now. This guy's name's Ben Dukes.
Oh, I cut to a single of me. Hang on. There you go.
I wanted you guys to know, please do me a favor. Look him up and spread the love of Ben Dukes. This is 1 Degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love. Thank you, Adler.
You're welcome.
Big love to Ben Dukes, everybody.
Give it up, everybody. Attaboy and Wizard, we miss you, but it didn't suck without you.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B.